According to the Washington Post, a focus group of vaccine-hesitant Trump supporters revealed that their skepticism stems largely from the unknown long-term effects of the new vaccines and a lack of trust in the government.
But former President Trump, he appeared on Fox News yesterday. He recommended his supporters get vaccinated. Let's watch.
Would you recommend to our audience that they get the vaccine then?
I would recommend it, and I would recommend it to a lot of people that don't want to get it, and a lot of those people voted for me, frankly. But, you know, again, we have our freedoms, and we have to live by that, and I agree with that also. But it's a great vaccine, it's a safe vaccine, and it's something that works.
Joining us now to discuss Democratic strategist, founding partner at Northern Star Strategies, Michael Starr Hopkins, and co-host of the Realignment podcast, Marshall Kosloff. They join us now to discuss. Marshall, what did you make of Trump's statement there? I think it's good empirically that he's come out. We increasingly see vaccine hesitancy largely among young Republican men, it seems, amongst the polling demographic. And what are some of the things, including with Trump's statement there, that could be done in order to increase rates of vaccination?
Yeah, so it really is going to come down to, and President Trump it's great that he's saying that, but this is one of those things where I'm a little skeptical how much of this is going to be affected or changed by Trump. I think there are broader societal level issues that make people skeptical of vaccines. That's why there was a anti-vax problem in this country long before Trump was president at all. So there's going to be a debate about how much this all feeds into it. But yeah, this is going to come down to normalizing this. People should be posting their pictures. People should be engaging Trump, other public figures. That's all really important. There was a bit of a pushback when public figures who were not at risk started getting COVID vaccines, and people said, oh, they're jumping the line. That's bad. But from my perspective, anything that increases trust and shows that this isn't a big conspiracy is going to be a good thing.
I completely agree with you.
Michael, what did you think of this? I just saw a new poll this morning that says 50% of Trump supporters who have not gotten the vaccine do not plan to ever get the vaccine. So it actually is a really significant problem.
Yeah, I mean, I would say to a large degree, the damage is already done. After, over 500,000 Americans are dead now, the president, or former president, thank God, wants to start talking about people taking vaccines, people using precautions. It's bullshit. Like, people are dead now, and he had the opportunity when he had the biggest platform in the world to put these messages forth. But instead, he engaged in conspiracy theories and, anti-Asian rhetoric. It is the worst possible situation, and frankly, I'm just glad he's gone. Well, I don't want to hear anything else from him.
Yeah, but that's the thing, Michael. Look, yeah, he did it, and there's no question that he definitely contributed to some of this. The real question is okay, now what needs to be done? And so, Marshall, we've got 50% of young Republican men who say they don't want to take the vaccine over trust in government, but I hear this overwhelmingly from people who are critical of my stance on the vaccine, which is, look, I'm a young guy, I don't need it, you can have a vaccine, you can reach herd immunity without me. How do you think that you can best come across and cut through that? And who are the type of people who would have credibility in speaking towards those types of concerns?
Yeah, so the thing that everyone wants is some return to normalcy. That's why you have all the rhetoric about the roaring 20s. That's why you have rhetoric about, man, this summer is going to be really exciting and crazy. So the way to convince people, especially those young men, I think, frankly, is not to do the whole, hey, if we do this, maybe, just maybe in 2023, can you maybe meet with 6 people who you quarantined with 8 weeks before? That isn't the way to do that. And that's not the rhetoric there. But the rhetoric is, hey, we're getting back to normal. No one's enjoying this process. We're all in this together. If enough of us get vaccines, things will be normal. You won't have to wear a mask on flights again. You won't have to feel worried about traveling. Restaurants won't be at 25% capacity. Bars will be open. Now, the thing that makes this a little difficult, especially with these messaging things, is the fact that the states themselves have such different responses. So, for example, if you go to Florida, if you go to Miami, people are out and about. So if you're a young Republican male in Florida, that whole case isn't going to matter as much versus if you're in D.C. like we are. That rhetoric of, hey, if you want to no longer have to wear a mask when you go for a run or do anything in public, get a vaccine, that's going to make a big difference because that community is going through that experience.
Yeah.
The other thing that's interesting here, Michael, is Frank Luntz did a focus group of Trump supporters who were vaccine hesitant. None of them wanted to be labeled like anti-vaxxers, but they were very skeptical, and they were in this camp that was more likely than not to not get the vaccine. And they did not like hearing from any politician on it. They hated all of the former president's PSA. They absolutely hated that. But even Trump, and again, these are Trump supporters, even Trump, they didn't want to hear from any politician on it because that made it feel partisan and political. The message that they actually responded to, which is kind of heartening in a way, was a public health official, Dr. Frieden, telling them in a nuanced way about the benefits and possible side effects of the vaccine, just literal education about it, without it feeling sort of like propaganda, but, you know, a nuanced education of what the vaccines were really all about and the evidence to support them. So I think in a way, while we all, you know, it's good to hear President Trump say this thing. Of course, it's way too late. Of course, it doesn't undo all of the terrible damage that he's done. You're right to say all of that. It seems like even him coming out and saying what he said in that interview is probably not the thing that's really going to move the needle here, because people just don't really care what politicians say about this.
I think you're right, and it goes towards the larger problem we're dealing with politically, where people are just sick of politicians. They don't trust them. They don't trust our political system, and it's why we're having such a hard time getting things done. You know, when I engage with people in Ubers or, you know, walking down the street talking about vaccine hesitancy, one of the big things we're hearing is, you know, how did they get this vaccine in a year? And so when we talk about the vaccine, I think we have to, and when I say we, I mean more the scientists and the people who are experts in this field, really have to talk about how the vaccine was created and how this has been a process over years and not just a short-term fix. And so I think education from scientists, I think more PSAs that don't involve politicians, but involve people from communities that you know, individuals, voters, Americans trust. I think that's really the path forward. It's not through politicians. It's not through presidents. It may not even be through athletes or celebrities. It may actually have to be on a very local and targeted way.
I think you're right. That's actually that's generally the tactic the Biden team is taking.
That's true. One other note, they despised Fauci. So he was not helpful here at all.
That's great.
All right, we're going to have more Team Rising for you after this.